The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hi, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. Or you could call us at 973-315-7990. Again, that's 973-315-7990. And you could ask us any questions you have, anything you want discussed on the air. We'd be more than happy to address that as well. My company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash. We purchase apartment buildings. We do joint ventures with other real estate investors. We loan money for rehabs, provide transactional funding or gap funding as well. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single-family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate, and we're very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not a real estate agent, and we're not a brokerage. I have individuals on staff that are agents. They're very good at what they do, and they could sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service as well. This show is going to go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of the individuals and stories that we encounter throughout our daily activity. We're going to go over anything that's going to impact real estate, from the economy to different laws that potentially could come up. We're going to discuss trends in real estate. Real estate's one of your biggest investments, so the more you know about it, the better it is for you. This show is based on my opinion and my experiences. As always, I say do your research in terms of anything to do with real estate, using a CPA, a contractor, whatever the case may be. Do your due diligence and research it very carefully. One of the things that you could always do, and we always recommend it, and we do the same thing, is that if you're going to be hiring someone, referrals are always very, very important, but those are not guaranteed. We had an individual that we brought on a while ago because I needed some additional plumbing assistance, and he had good referrals, and there was an individual I talked to, and she said, yeah, definitely go with him, and we did, and it was just a major mistake. It just was really bad, and I had to cut the relationship short just because it was just taking too long, and it just really wasn't working out. And there was always another story why it was taking so long, and it just had to be terminated. And that's the thing, sometimes when things go sideways, you got to address it as quick as possible, and sometimes you have to cut off the relationship. But you need to talk about it, and I know sometimes that's difficult, and sometimes you just you could let it go through, and then after that not hire that person again. One of the things that you always have to think about, and I always say, is that we talk about the bell-shaped curve with anything, with testing, and any type of statistical thing is you look at the bell-shaped curve. And one of the things with the bell-shaped curve is that there's a lot of average. That's the big hump, and that's where the majority of the people are. And so when you're thinking about it and you're hiring an attorney, or you're hiring an agent, or you're hiring anyone, most of the people are going to be in that average area. So it's always difficult to really find those people that are very, very good. On the flip side, you could get the side where it's really bad, and there's not as many of those, but there's a lot of average out there. It doesn't matter who it is. It's just there's just a lot of average out there, and sometimes you got to go through a lot to find that good person, and it is very difficult at times. We experience it all the time, and no matter how good your vetting process is, you're going to have problems, and you're always going to have those individuals that you thought were good and then were not good. We've received a lot of private investors invest with us, and we get the stories a lot where individuals invested their money and they lost money through their advisors, things like that. And it's really, really tough. Someone's investing money through someone's recommendations, and then they start losing money on the stock market or whatever the investments are, and it's just really tough. And I don't even know how those individuals stay in business, or that they through their conscience should continue in an endeavor where you're losing someone's money as often as you are. So I just scratch my head at that. We continue to receive calls from individuals that potentially could lose their house, so we work with them. Again, it's no charge. We'll make recommendations. Sometimes they've covered everything, and if that's the case, that's great. But we're always here to help, and we don't charge for any of those services like that. If you're interested in selling your house for cash, great. Give us a call. If it's hard to sell, if it's a hoarder's house, it's empty and you just need to sell, medical bills, whatever the case may be, please give us a call on any of those situations. Also, if you have a house that's out of state, we usually don't buy out of New Jersey, but sometimes we do. But say you had a house in Missouri. I have a lot of investor friends throughout the country. I belong to a mastermind, which is a collection of individuals that share stories and share their experiences, and we work together to build our business up. And if you have a house in Missouri or any other state, I should have access to a number of individuals that would buy your house for cash. So anything out of state, please give me a call. I'd be more than happy to look into it, find a couple of investors I know, and then you could, maybe engage in that. So like I said, we're always here to help. The other thing is that, if you're interested in selling your house through the traditional method, please give us a call. Like I said, I have lots of good agents. One of the things we bring to the table is that, we're going to come in and, like other agents though, we're going to make certain suggestions, and we'll work very closely with you. One of the things that sometimes you might need some minor repairs to your house to get it to where it should be in terms of selling it at the highest price possible. Well, we have individuals that we work with constantly that work with us from a handyman service all the way up to full rehabs. So we could recommend those people and make sure we work very closely with you to make those repairs to maximize your selling price. So that's one of the things we bring to it. So, as I said before, sometimes you bring on someone, you don't know what you're getting. So with us, these people have already been tested out. They've worked with us. So that's a big, big benefit. And they could do anything from, painting to, driveways to any type of repair work. And I have an individual right now, we're going to be listing her house. And we're going to go in there and we're going to make some changes with painting and doing some work. and it's going to cost her $2,000 or $3,000, but in the end, she'll benefit like $20,000 from it. So it's kind of important. So we bring those things to the table because we're tried and true with those individuals. So we do this all day long. So we know these individuals. It's just not a reference. So that's extremely important to maximize what you're getting. The other thing is that, as I continue to say, the market is hot, and now more and more houses are coming on the market. So I'm expecting it to level off soon, but I would seize the opportunity if you're going to sell as quickly as possible. Just we don't know where the economy's going. We've talked about previously that there's going to be a V-shaped recovery. I don't think that. The Fed doesn't think that. So that's kind of important to factor that into your decision. I think as the second half of the year starts to pick up, they're going to continue to push money into the economy, which is good, and it's going to keep everything afloat. But as time progresses, I think it's just going to wear on the economy in general. You have a lot of businesses that are marginally profitable. That's just the way it is. So with things being closed down, sales not as strong in certain areas, not as strong as they could be, I think it's going to push a number of businesses in bankruptcy. Certain businesses are, killing it, like Amazon, but other businesses, that are in Main Street USA are, hurting, and it's going to continue like that for a while. So that's a big concern of ours right now. So that's something to think about, when you're thinking of planning to sell your house. I know you might not be ready yet, but I would work very hard to try to put things in place if you need to sell your house or you want to sell your house. I think that's really, really important. The other thing is that if you know of anyone that wants to sell their house, please give us a call. We'll pay you a finder's fee. Everything's private, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, I'm constantly looking for apartment buildings, preferably 100 units or more, but we do smaller units. But if you have anything large scale, doesn't matter what state it's in. For apartment buildings, we do it throughout the country. For purchasing houses, we purchase exclusively in New Jersey right now. We're probably going to expand eventually into Pennsylvania, but right now it's just New Jersey. But if you have any apartment buildings, you know of any, please give us a call. We'd be really anxious to look into it. In the second half of the segment, which is going to come up soon, I'm going to talk about a few things in terms of what we encountered this week in our rehabs. Certain things that, depending on, from political perspective, which I don't like to talk about politics, but it's a concern of mine and how it's going to impact real estate. I'm going to also tell you about a unique story between a landlord and a tenant that had a service dog, and another tenant in that same building that had a severe pet allergy. So it's pretty unique and it's crazy to some extent. And again, we're going to talk a little bit more about the economy and real estate, commercial real estate in general. Okay, so thank you very much. And I'm going to close this segment out. Again, if you ever need anything, please give us a call or contact us at templarcashforhouses.com. I'll see you shortly.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at TemplarCashForHouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. That's one word. Or you could call us at 973-315-7990. So this week we had a house we just finished and we were putting it on the market, and we had new AC unit put in, everything, and this past week was very, very hot. So we went upstairs the day of, and we had just finished staging, everything was done, and went upstairs, and it was Sunday, it was very hot, and it was just really warm up there. So everybody was commenting on it, and it wasn't a good thing. And they all loved the house, and afterwards we looked into the situation. I was seeing what we needed to do, and obviously I said we definitely need a attic fan. So you could hook up attic fans. There's different ones that go into the attic itself. There's ones that go on the roof and pull the heat from the attic itself. So those attic fans could reduce the heat in your attic between 40 and 50 degrees. So that's considerable, and we had that installed immediately by one of my contractors, and it cooled the house down immediately as a result of that. But that's just something in case you're encountering that on the second floor, and you don't have two zones for AC unit, that is the best solution. And there's also what you could do is also insulate the attic. Our attic was really small, so the insulation wasn't going to really help, but the attic fan dropped the temperature considerably down. And we're probably going to also put some ceiling fans as well to circulate the air to cool it down even further and just make it feel better. But that happens sometimes. We're pushing hard to get things on the market quickly, and certain things come up. We don't live in these houses, so we don't experience some of those things that a normal individual living in the house would. But again, I always say, if there's a problem, you have to meet it quickly and address it. So we have a number of individuals that are very interested in the house. It's only been on the market for a few days, and we already have a lot of interest in it, which is good. And usually our houses sell extremely quickly because all the things we do with it, from the upgrades to the staging. We get a lot of compliments on our staging, and that's something that when you sell a house, it's very, very important how to stage the house, or do certain things to highlight the house. And the individuals we have on staff that sell houses for individuals will tell you certain things. We're going to say maybe get rid of certain furniture because you want to open up the house and make it bigger. So there's a lot of things you could do, and it doesn't necessarily cost you money, but you could do, and all of a sudden it just transforms a house. As well as maybe $1,000 here, a couple $1,000 relatively speaking, could translate into a $20,000 difference in terms of the selling price of the house. So that's it's very important, not kind of important. It's very, very important. So the other thing that I'd like to discuss also, which we're concerned about, and it's not based on whether it's Democrat or Republican, but I guess in some ways it is that with potentially the changing of the guard in November, there's certain things that might impact real estate and the economy in general. And Biden has a plan in terms of spending additional money on social issues, which is all great stuff. But what's going to happen is he wants to take a lot of this or some of the money from real estate investors and certain profits, and fund some of these initiatives. And my view on this, and a lot of individuals, business people, but not all, feel that the money you're taking from a business is going to hurt the economy in general. So what do I mean by that? By reducing and keeping the tax rate low, first of all, the money that I make or other individuals make, invest in the business. And what we do, invest in the business, is grow the business. And as a result of growing the business, we hire more people. And, right now, we're chugging along. I give a lot of work to our contractors, and, a lot of them are individuals from other countries, Uruguay and Guatemala and things like that, and they're doing really well. But if you take that money and you start, and that translates into them receiving money, and then they could spend money, so on and so forth. So, and also we give more money to charities, traditionally, just in general, everyone. So it's a ripple effect. Now when you start tightening those things up, sometimes, unfortunately, it has the reverse effect. Now, one of the things that Biden is saying is that any profit from real estate or after a certain amount is going to be taxed. Now, traditionally, individuals that have a property and they sell it, they're going to get capital gains on it. But if they roll it over into another property, and there's all these different rules on it, I'm not going to get into those, they will not get taxed. So all that money will go into the next property, which will be probably larger, or usually larger. So it continues to grow, and that's a good thing. And that's going to be impacted considerably as a result of that. I have an individual, he works for us, and he does a lot of odd jobs, and hard worker, Hispanic guy, and he's just a great guy. And he said to me, Joe, one of my goals and dreams is that I want to buy right now he has like a 2-family, and he says, I want to sell it and get a larger apartment building so I could pass it on to my son. So he has real estate, and he could receive that money, the rents and things like that, so it's easier on him. And that's the name of the game, passing real estate on to your family, and helping them out and helping your kids out. And it's done constantly throughout the country, and it's going to impact a lot of people as a result of that. And I don't know what other things are, whether it's type of tax implications there are. It's still early, so we don't know, but there's a lot of talk on those things. So it's a great concern of us as a company, and where we're going to be able to grow, or how much we're going to be able to grow going forward. Sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And like I said, that's a very big concern of ours. So we'll see how it progresses accordingly. Another thing is that, with this pandemic, there's a lot of negative as a result of that. But one of the positive things is that, my younger son, he's been working in the business since fifth grade. He's going into ninth grade now, so he's done stuff for us. He's helped rehab some of the homes, and in terms of light construction, things like that, and a lot of yard work for us. And he's right now taking pictures for us. So it's been really good that, because he's not going to any camps this summer, because they've all been canceled, he's been spending a lot more time with me, which has been really great. We've been going on visits to different houses. He takes pictures. He's very good at it from a photography perspective. So he's taking pictures for us when we're listing houses, and he's just learning the business. So he's really into the business. So it's pretty cool. When I was picking him up, it was last year. He said to me, and I don't know where he got this from. He's in eighth grade at the time. He said, Dad, he said, well, I plan to go to business school, college, and learn business. And then after that, I want to, obviously work for the company, your company. And, shortly after that, I would hope to become a junior partner. I'm looking at myself, where are you getting this from? I'm glad he's, very ambitious, but it was just really, really funny that, he's talking about junior partnership. He's dad, and then eventually, partnership. I said, of course. And it's interesting, and it's great that he's thinking that way. He's always been one for, money and calculating things like that. It's pretty interesting. He's been like that from when he's 4 years old. He's always been like that, and now he's trying to work on a website for all his pictures, and he wants to sell them via this website. So I'm going to work with him on it. But it's pretty cool that he could be part of this, and it's very rewarding, and seeing him as he's growing, and I'm very proud of him, as well as my older son, which is finishing up his nursing. But he was working with me sometimes, but he's been so busy with nursing and the EMT that he really can't right now. But next year, after he graduates, he wants to jump into it as well, and help me out and start investing. So we're really looking forward to that, and I'm really happy for them that they could do that. One of the things that I'm seeing with to change the subject is commercial real estate. So commercial real estate's going to get clobbered even further. We've had some challenges in commercial real estate. We don't deal with commercial real estate per se, strip malls, things like that. Ours is always apartment buildings, and I've always shied away from pure commercial real estate. But they're going to get hit a lot harder. New York City is going to be devastated, I think. It really is. Less people are going to be in the city. They're going to be doing a lot more remote working, and there's going to be major shortfalls. There's current shortfalls right now, major ones for New York City, for taxes and things coming in, sales tax, so on and so forth. So it's a ripple effect. And in general, malls are going to be challenged considerably. You have these anchor stores like Sears and Macy's, and a number of them are going out of business. Sears is a big one. If you look in some of the strip malls, there's in Parsippany, there used to be on 46 a Kmart. They haven't been there for years. And if you go through there, there's a number of other stores like a Modell's that's no longer there, and a number of other stores. So there's going to be some challenges with commercial real estate. Now they're talking about with some of these malls, because they're vacant, they're going to turn them temporarily into drive-in theaters where they use the parking lots, and You could do a drive-in theater. So that's pretty unique, but that's not going to save them. And, they're talking about converting malls to warehouse space because of the increase in Amazon and things like that and online stores. Again, that might help a little bit. They're talking about some converting to apartment buildings, and these are all going to help, but still, with that being said, there's going to be a lot of challenges with commercial real estate in general. So we're coming to an end right now. I'd like to thank you again for listening. And again, if you have any questions, please give us a call at 973-315-7990. And we'd be more than happy to address any questions you have. Thank you very much. God bless and take care.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.